Hey guys, welcome back. It is Melissa from Steals, Deals, and Meals. And hi, if you are new here, welcome. Today I have a meal prep video for you guys, and I'm just kind of going through my refrigerator and seeing what things didn't get either cooked or prepped for the week. We're kind of like at the end of the week as I'm doing this because it is summer and it's been a little bit busy. So before some of these veggies and things start to go bad, I want to just get them cooked and just prepped for the rest of the week and and beyond, because some things I'm going to be freezing as well, and I'm also going to prep like a dinner for tonight for my family, and probably a few other things as well. So let me just do a quick run through to show you what I have so far on the table. There could be some more things I might pull out as I go along, but I have some chives here from the farm. I'm just going to get those washed up and dried, and then I'm just going to chop them up into little little pieces that they can sprinkle on any of their meals. I have some kale here that I did use a little bit of it, but I never got a chance to wash all of it, so it's starting to wilt slightly. So I'm going to do something with that. I don't know if I'm going to either freeze it or cook it up. We'll see. Sometimes I just leave it raw and I put it in the freezer and use it for smoothies. Over here I have some fresh zucchini. I'm probably going to slice that up and cook that. I have some green peppers. I also have some beets as well. Those of you who know I'm on the keto diet know beets are not 100% good for a keto diet, but I'm gonna prep these. I'm not sure if I may just cook them, like roast them up whole and just maybe freeze them for a later date, because the family doesn't really like beets. And also, you can do, my family probably won't eat them at this point, but when my kids were little, I used to puree them and make pink pancakes, or you can even make like chocolate cake and mix it in there as well, and just kind of gives it a little bit extra like color and stuff like that. Just some other fun things that you can do with that. Different ways to use up your beets. If you're somebody who eats beets, leave me your comments down below. Let me know how you make them. I really love them raw and putting them on salads. But for now, I'm just going to probably just clean them and roast them up whole. I have some tomatoes here that, as you can see, are starting to go a little bit bad. They're not totally bad, but they're starting, they need to be eaten or cooked right away. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to make some homemade sauce, and then I'll probably just freeze it. I have an onion here, which I'm going to use to make the sauce. Sometimes I'll use, if I have fresh garlic, I'll use fresh garlic, sometimes onion. I don't have any garlic, so we're going to just use some onion for today and just do like a very simple, quick sauce. Also, like I said, I'm going to prep a dinner for my husband and my son. So I have some mozzarella as well as some chicken cutlets, and I have some like leftover Barilla tomato sauce in here in the jar that I'm just going to make like a chicken parmesan sort of bake. There's no breading or anything like that, and I have some fresh basil as well. And then I also have these soy curls from BUTLER Foods. They had sent me these actually to create some recipes. So I'm not going to do anything extravagant today, but I'm going to keep it basic. I'm going to just do like a chicken salad. So I'm just going to, they're basically dry. It's basically soy, and it is 100% soy, and it's, as you can see in the bag, it is all dried. And what you do is you rehydrate them. They are dehydrated, and you're going to rehydrate them. So I'm probably just going to hydrate them, let them cool a little bit, and just make like a quick little like chicken salad for the weekend, that I can just grab and eat. But you can do so many things with this. It's so versatile, very high protein, low carbs. If you're somebody who's watching carbs, let me just show you guys the macros if you guys can see them here. But very, very, very low carbs. There are only 2 net carbs per serving, and there's 8 servings in this whole bag, and it's a quite a big bag, because like I said, when it rehydrates, they kind of puff up a little bit. So that's how we're going to start. Like I said, there could be some other things I might come across as I'm kind of going through the refrigerator to see what needs to be taken care of before it spoils. So let's get into this. I do also have, if you're not familiar with my meal prep videos, I have my bowl always ready right here to clean my veggies. Sometimes I might have a couple bowls going, just one today. And then I also have my vinegar spray. It's just a mixture of vinegar and water. I use that to clean my veggies. Most of these, or actually all of these veggies, are organic, local, because I do get them from my local, I do a farm share every summer. If you haven't seen my grocery hauls, I'll link those right up here in the iCard, so you can check those out and you can see what I get in my farm share every week. And as well as I've done some meal prep videos, other meal prep videos also where I've showed, you know, how I prep my farm share veggies. So anyways, let's get into this and let's start cooking. So I'm going to start with my zucchini and my peppers. I put those in the bowl, sprayed them with my vinegar spray. While these are soaking, I'm going to prep the chicken dish for my husband and my son. I also usually always try to not only put all the food items on the table, they're all on my kitchen table so I can kind of see what I have to cook. I will also lay on my prepping counter. I put all the seasonings that I may possibly need out on the counter. This is actually another item from Butler Foods. It is a like chicken or chick style seasoning. It is totally vegan. Here are the ingredients in case you guys want to check that out. Just be careful if you are somebody who follows like keto or anything. Just be careful, the carbs are a little bit high, so just a little bit of this will go, but a little of this goes a long way. It does give a lot of great flavoring, especially to those soy curls. It gives it like a chicken flavor. It's really good, you know, really good. Even for like veggies, I'm actually going to use a little bit on my zucchini when I cook that. But let's get started with the chicken dish because I'm just going to prep this. I'm not going to cook it yet, and I'm just going to put it in the refrigerator so when they come home later in the evening, I can just pop it in the oven, or if we decide not to have it, they decide not to have it, I can save it for another day. Either way, so here are the chicken breasts for my vegan viewers. I'm sorry, but I do cook meat for my husband and my son, and you guys know that, but I usually buy a lot of pre-cooked things because it just makes it a little bit easier for me. I don't want to deal with any sort of raw stuff. But anyway, so these are the chicken cutlets, and what I think I'm going to do is slice them like lengthwise down the center just to make them a little bit thinner. And I'm gonna like sort of like almost make it like layered, like almost like a lasagna would be, but just with the meat, because my husband is trying to do a little bit of like traditional keto, so you know, we're gonna see how that's gonna go with him, but I figured this is something that he can have, and it's low carb. I'm gonna use that cheese, and the sauce is back here as well. I do have another jar of sauce I purchased recently because I didn't defrost any from the freezer, but I do have one in the pantry in case I do need any more. We'll just see how it goes as I layer it. And actually I do have some Parmesan cheese as well, which I might pull out and add that to it, and I do have some like garlic and herb seasoning here as well. I might top it with that. So let's start preparing this dish. So now that the chicken dinner is all prepped for my husband and my son, I just wrapped that in saran wrap. I put that in the fridge, and I will take it out when they are ready to eat and just pop it in the oven, and it'll get all nice and bubbly and cheesy for them. Anyway, so now we are moving on to the veggies. So welcome back to my vegan viewers if you had to scroll forward past that. But we are on to the veggies, and the zucchini and the peppers are all cleaned, and I rinsed them off, laid them on a paper towel. I'm gonna set the peppers aside for the moment, but I'm gonna start slicing up the zucchini. And while I'm slicing up the zucchini, I have the beets soaking with the vinegar spray so I can get those in the oven as well. So what I did for the zucchini, I have a nice big bowl here, and I put some avocado oil, and I also have some seasonings. I have some pink Himalayan salt in there, as well as some onion powder, some garlic powder, some of this smoked chili salt, which is so good. I get this at Aldi's, like a specialty thing once in a while that they carry. It's so good. It has a nice little spice to it. And then I'm gonna put a tiny bit of this chick style seasoning as well, which also does have some like garlic and onion seasoning in it, just to give it some extra flavor. Doing it a little bit different. I know if you guys have watched my meal prepping in the past, sometimes I will coat the zucchini with flax meal. It kind of gives it a nice crunch, but I'm just going to do it pretty simple this time, and I think I might even cut it into rounds instead of the strips this time. So let's get cutting on those zucchini, and we're going to toss it in the bowl, and we're going to pop them in the oven. The beets was I just rinsed them off. I just poked a little bit of a couple little holes in them just with like a sharp knife, just to kind of you know, for, I guess it's supposed to help them cook a little bit better. I usually do that with my baked potatoes, so I'm assuming it's similar. I don't know, this is just something I do. Anyways, so I just put them on a pan with some foil instead of parchment, because sometimes they'll sort of bleed a little bit and they get a little sticky, and I just figured it'd be easier to clean up on the pan. The parchment, it might like seep through. So just to make it a little bit easier. So I'm just gonna, like I said, leave them whole like this, roast them up, and then when they are cooled, I'll probably just, you know, peel them, and I will have some beets for the week. So we are now onto the peppers. The beets are in the oven as well as the zucchini. So what I'm gonna do with the peppers, I don't think we're gonna get to eating them this week, because we're, like I said, we're sort of towards the end of the week. I know usually I prep the beginning of the week, but and I'm going to be due to get my new week's worth of my farm share, so I don't want to have too many fresh things in the fridge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slice these up, and I'm going to put them in a freezer bag, which I already have labeled, and I'm going to leave them, you know, I'm going to freeze them raw. So, because I've never done this before, and as far as I know, you can totally do this. I mean, they sell frozen veggies like this in, you know, in the supermarket. So, you know, whatever you see in the freezer department in your store, you could freeze yourself. So that's what I'm just going to do. I'm going to slice them into strips. I figured just in case, like, we do like sausage and peppers or something like that. Obviously the girls would do like vegan version, or if I just need them for another dish, I can just take out whatever else needed. So that's basically going to be it for that. And then I do have a little bowl here. I forgot to take it out before, like a little garbage bowl. I always like to keep that on the side of me, so that way I don't have to keep turning to the garbage, because my garbage is kind of like behind me in my kitchen. So I'm going to slice these up and get them in the baggie, and they will be ready for the freezer. So here are the peppers. They're all sliced up. I put them in a freezer, like Ziploc bag. Just make sure you always put the date on them, so that way when they're in the freezer, you know when you prepped them. So I'm just going to toss these into the freezer, and we're going to move on to the tomato sauce. All right, so we are on to making the tomato sauce. The tomatoes are all ready and washed. I'm just going to do a rough cut, and I'm going to put them in my little smoothie process, my little Ninja cup, and I'm gonna just puree them up. I'm going to dice up the onions really, really small as well. I probably will use the whole onion, and then these are the seasonings I'm going to use. I'm going to use this garlic and herb all-purpose seasoning, some onion powder, garlic powder, of course some sea salt, and some smoked chili. And then I'm also going to use some of this fresh basil. If I don't use all of it, I may not use all of it. We'll just see how, you know, how much it is when I put it in there. But I will just take the rest of it. I have a freezer baggie in my freezer that every week, whenever I don't use up all my fresh basil, I just put it in there, and then that way it will stay fresh for whenever it is needed for a recipe. So that's what I'm going to get going with. I'm going to put a little bit of some oil, some avocado oil in the pan, and get my onions like sauteed a little bit till they are translucent. Puree up these tomatoes, toss those in there, and then I'm going to just chop up the basil really finely as well, and I'm just going to let it cook. Very, very simple, and that's going to be my sauce. Alright, so here is my zucchini, and I just pulled them out. I just totally forgot they were in the oven. You know, mistakes happen, but they're still going to be good. You can see some of the ones on the outside of the, perimeter of the pan got a little crispy because, I just got distracted by something, mom life. But anyway, so they're still going to be all good. I'm going to put these in a container and pop them in the fridge, and I will have them, over the next couple weeks. I really love zucchini, so I know this is not going to last long. But like I said, that's still perfectly good. I actually even love them when they're a little bit brown like this. So that is my zucchini. And then I also decided with the kale to just make like kale chips. So I just laid them on a baking sheet, and I just put a little bit of some avocado oil and some seasoning, and I just roasted them in the oven. And I just made like a quick small little batch of some kale chips. So with the soy curls from Butler Foods, what I'm going to do with these is first I need to rehydrate them, and what I want to do is I want to make a chicken salad. So basically these are very high protein, really great macros on them, as I said earlier in the video, but basically I'm just going to put them in a bowl, and I'm just going to fill it with water so the water totally covers it, usually about 10-15 minutes. I usually will just set that aside and do something else. So like I said, I'm going to put it in a bowl, top it with water, set it aside, and then I'm going to just chop up my chives, which I actually already washed and dried. So I'm going to chop up the chives while I am waiting for my soy curls to rehydrate. So here's what the soy curls look like after they have been sitting in the bowl for about 10-15 minutes. This was only about half of the bag. I didn't do the full bag. I just want to do a small little batch of some chicken salad. And what I did was I just sauteed them in the pan with some avocado oil just so they get a little bit browned. and then I basically added some vegan mayonnaise. I actually am going to do a full video because this was so good. It was a very small batch that I made because I was just kind of experimenting, but I'm going to have a video for you guys probably coming up at the end of this week, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed so you can check that video out if you're not subscribed yet. But this was really, really good, and you know, I haven't had chicken salad in many years, but this was really good and very enjoyable. I also put that chicken style seasoning on it as well, but this was really good that I wanted to share it with a separate video for you guys, just so you can see how I made it. So once my sauce was done, I let it sit for quite a while, and just to let it cool off, because, you know, I didn't want to put anything hot into jars. And these jars are actually, the one jar is the Barilla jar that you saw at the beginning of the video when I prepped the meal for my husband and my son. I always like to reuse jars. I do have many mason jars that I do keep on hand for things, but I also, whenever I buy a product that it is in a jar, I will try to, you know, reuse it if I can. I just take the label off, and you know, and it works great. You know, it's a great way of, you know, reusing things and not putting all this stuff back into the environment. You know, I really, you know, I like to do that. Anyway, so I just reuse the jar. Make sure you put a label on it as well, so you know when you prepared it, and this will be good for a future, you know, meal as well. And then one last thing was I found some jalapenos in my refrigerator as well that I had gotten in the farm share. So I had never had jalapeno poppers before, because, you know, they were never vegan in the past, when, you know. So I made a vegan version, which I'm actually going to have this will be another recipe video for you guys. So make sure, it actually should be up before this video, so I'll link it right up here in the iCards. But these were so good. Very spicy, but they were good, and you're gonna love them. And I used the Butler Foods jerky as the bacon on top. Oh my goodness, guys. So make sure you go check out that video, and leave me comments. Let me know if you're going to try it, and, you know, if you've liked it. But this was so good. Totally vegan, and also very keto friendly if you were following a keto diet. Alright guys, so that is it for this week's meal prep. I hope you enjoyed checking out what I was meal prepping for this week. Make sure you leave me some comments down below. I love talking to you guys. Let me know, you know, what you are meal prepping this week, or what you know, like meal prepping, you know, anything. I love talking to you guys. If you are new here, I would also love for you guys to subscribe and join my YouTube family. And also make sure you hit that bell notification. That way you know when my videos are uploaded. And like I said earlier, make sure you watch those recipe videos that are coming up, the one that's already posted and the one I will be posting probably next week. Definitely go check those out, because I really think you're going to really enjoy them. And also go give Butler Foods some love as well on Instagram. It's not sponsored or anything, but go check them out on Instagram. Go check out their website. Their products are also available on Amazon as well. And as always, guys, I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you soon. Bye, guys.